Gentlemen and female gentlemen, there is breaking news. Penguin Zero just destroyed MoistCr1TiKal. It is wild. The world is insane. Everything is on fire. And I really hate this situation, to be honest, because I like Charlie a lot. Bro had a terrible take in the Sneako video, but like, holy crap, I still think he's a very good man. And goddamn, the amount of 5 million views in 11 hours. Jeebus Fleebus, as they say. Oh my god. All right, dude, everyone's going nuts and attack. So here's the thing. The internet is insane, like completely batshit crazy right now. I feel like everyone's kind of bloodthirsty, especially ever since the Chris Tyson, the Dr. Disrespect, Cody Ko, now there's Mr. Beast shit. Like, people are literally bloodthirsty to destroy and tear people down. I think it makes people feel powerful to be able to tear people down. Now, for reference, MoistCr1TiKal is 10 times my size on the internet. Not in height. In height, he's very short. but in size, he's 10 times my size. So just by using that as a metric, if he gets 10 times my hate, holy shit, that's insane. And I get hate for everything. I got hate because I titled the video, Jaden Animations and I had a great last 10 years on YouTube. When in fact, it was a video of Jaden talking about her last 10 years on YouTube and me talking about my last 10 years on YouTube and how both of them were great. Hence the title, Jaden and I had a great last 10 years on YouTube. I got canceled for that, mega canceled on Twitter and on TikTok. This one tweet alone has 100,000 fucking likes. 100,000 likes. And that's just one tweet. There's like billions of them flying around canceling me for this. It's there's blood in the water. The haters are in a frenzy. And it's all about, in my opinion, people just trying to tear other people down. I don't know if it's due to jealousy or whatever the fuck, but people are going nutso. So I subtly flexed my cancellation. Getting canceled and getting, thousands of death threats over titling a video accurately is crazy, okay? I got death threats for an accurate title of a video because some people perceive my title as parasocial. It's crazy. So if I could get death threats by the thousands for that, and I'm not going to be changing that title, I'm not going to be doing that because let them hate, I guess. I don't really care. It's kind of awesome. I feel a little bit of good. Patting myself on the back here. Here we go. We just watched the Taku canceled Nuxanor segment of the video. But the point that I'm trying to make here is that's for nothing, okay? That's getting canceled for actually fucking nothing because Jaden could DM me anytime. That is getting canceled for Zippo. Charlie, 10 times my size. So I can't even imagine the amount of hate and death threats this man was getting over the time. So I just want to preface this whole situation with that. So let's see where we fucking go with this. I saw the one tweet floating around of MoistCr1TiKal stepping back from podcasts and everyone rushing to say that he retired, he rage quit the internet. Dude, I saw this. Did you see the quartering? I'm sorry, this is my commentary, okay? You should know that my videos are commentary and they're not purely just reacting to the thing that you expect me to react to, okay? But dude, look at how the quartering has been milking this. Okay, he uploads like 8 videos a day, but not the point. MoistCr1TiKal just rage quit internet after backlash. Meanwhile, all he did was step down from doing a podcast. You do realize he has like 6 active YouTube channels that he posts on daily, right? Like, people have been going crazy about this. Crazy! So, anyway, let's see where this fucking goes. I hope that this is a good video, to be honest, because, Charlie's a friend, and I really hope he's okay.
Heavens to Betsy, what a week, huh, sports fans?
Oh,
Holy
shit.
Toledo.
Yeah, it puts it lightly! Can you believe that in the last week we had Chris Tyson getting exposed, Cody Ko leaving podcasts and shit, MoistCr1TiKal getting mega canceled. Again, maybe I'm just thinking about myself here, but me getting this hate train on multiple fronts. Like, this week's been insane. Insane.
Yeah.
Kai Cenat's cameraman was exposed texting a minor. Like, yeah, it just keeps going. The list keeps going. I will not remember. The Olympics. The Olympics introducing that cringe-ass intro.
So, MoistCr1TiKal's in a big oopsie-poopsie situation here. It reminds me of the time in Moonfall when KC Houseman sacrifices himself and dies of cringe to become the moon. Yeah.
Yeah, Mr. MoistCr1TiKal fell into a bit of an oopsie-poopsie situation. It's almost as sad as the time that Belle Delphine gave people herpes by selling her bathwater. It was a little bit of an asshole oopsie-toopsie.
I love how that the intro of this video was just Moist poorly making fun of himself.
Yeah, so,
I have to title this video, Penguin Zero and I got canceled, or Penguin Zero and I respond to drama, just to keep the parasocial train going.
serious now, since this has become such a big issue. I've been in a lot of drama recently. I'm in hot water,
Fuck yeah.
and I'm biting on the fart bubbles that pop up in the bathtub here.
I fucking love the way he speaks. I'm so happy he's here. Please don't be if he announces in this video I'm leaving YouTube, I will be furious. Furious. Because he definitely could afford it, right? Man has millions and millions.
It is a lot. So let's start with the
I hope he's still loving making content, honestly. That's what I'm really hoping for.
most recent one today. My retirement. I didn't know I was retiring.
Bro! Yo, this is the same as me with the podcast. Oh my god, I went through the same thing. Yo, let me find this for you. So this streamer drama YouTuber feller by the name of Chud Logic. This is insane. Holy crap. He drops this video on YouTube. This one. Taku kicked from someone. He added a question mark. Bro added a question mark to his title after the claims were debunked. There. Well, honestly, that's just journalistic integrity. I respect that. But this video came out saying Taku kicked from some ordinary podcast, period. And then it was absolutely not because of Shadman or whatever. And yeah, it's all about how I was kicked off my podcast. And this was obviously news to me, being that I was not kicked off my podcast. I will miss you forever, boss. Thank you, chat. But this was definitely blindsided me. So I was like, nani? But he added a question mark for journalistic integrity. So he's a good man. I approve. I approve this message. So this is how people get news now. People don't get news that's true from sources that matter. You get news from clickbait articles about you. What is the internet right now?
That's news to me. I'm as shocked as all of you are.
Yes,
I had
sir.
a ton of fun last night playing a game called Clickleding, which is basically like a cuckoldry simulator, but for clicking against like the Lorax in a hotel room. And I just did like an old school gameplay commentary video. I was bubbly, full of jubilation. I posted it today only to learn that I'm just a big old fucking liar.
Dude, the funniest thing is I'm not on Twitter. I'm literally not on Twitter. I haven't been on Twitter for months just because I don't have time for just soul-crushing shit every day. So I get my news through either chat or YouTube comments or garbage like that. And when you get told in your comment section about some shit that apparently happened to you, it's crazy. You get a comment like, oh God, Nux, I can't believe you were fired from your podcast. Shame on you. There must be more shit behind the scenes that we don't even know about. And I'm like, wait, this guy's trolling, right?
Liar plants for hire, I suppose. Apparently, and I didn't know this until I posted the video, everyone was under the impression that I was quitting the internet.
Not just under the impression. The Quartering got 250,000 views on a video talking about how you rage quit the internet. Because integrity. We gotta wait for the If the Quartering has as much integrity as Chud Logic, he will at least add a question mark to the end of that title. At least Chud Logic added a question mark.
So I started scratching at the hair on my chinny chin, wondering, when the fuck did that happen?
Good question.
Was I sleepwalking? Do I have somnambulism? Is this some kind of...
That's not a real word. Somnambulism is not a real word, right? Holy crap, somnambulism! It's a real word! Sleepwalking! That's crazy! God, dude, Charles, what a fucking guy. Teaching people English and shit.
kind of like, you know, Fight Club situation, but instead of like Tyler Durden, I have fucking Charles Turden here that's just making wrong announcements. It turns out the patient zero behind all of this was a post Jackson made announcing that I would be leaving the podcasts, which is something I thought about periodically for quite a few months now. Mainly because I started to recognize that I was becoming the very thing I'd make fun of with being chronically online. Like, I just was always online.
So I've been saying for a long time, Charlie, like, if you look at his content, he uploads 2 videos a day on his main channel. He streams for like 2-3 hours a day on his main channel or on Twitch. He also has 2 separate podcasts, the official podcast and Red Thread. He also has a Magic the Gathering card game channel. And he also has the official channel where he's posting like bigger, higher quality videos like once a week. He also unlike every other YouTuber his size on the platform, is super helpful and nice and kind to everyone that talks to him. He's nice to me. He takes time out of his day to collab with me, you know, to come on our podcast, stuff like that. But I guess just like I was fired from my podcast, Charlie was fired from his.
And the podcasts were a big proponent of that, and I just kind of wanted to scale back the amount of time I spend online, and I kept Jackson in the loop the whole time here about where my head was at, and last week I told him, hey man, I think this is going to be where I hang up the jersey, you can put it in the rafters, throw it in the dumpster, but I think I'm just going to be, you know, sailing off into the sunset here and just reducing the amount of stuff I do online.
I respect it.
Which he completely understood, so he made the announcement just letting people know that, and then that got spun on Twitter and Reddit as MoistCr1TiKal's taking an indefinite hiatus and quitting the internet, fundamentally.
Yeah.
Don't know when I'll be back. He's done with the internet because of all this controversy.
And people will literally take this shit and spiral it out of control with their own weird headcanon. And that just keeps spreading. It's crazy.
Patooey on his grave. He's gone. When I mean, looking at the post, I don't even know where that's coming from.
Dude, the best part is, like, when people were telling me, Nux, I can't believe you were fired from your podcast. And I'm like, I wasn't fired from the podcast. And they're like, oh, you are literally lying right now. You are literally lying. And it's like, what do you want me to say? It's not true. What am I supposed to do? Oh, my God. We recorded a whole final episode of the podcast. We even did like a 5-minute intro talking about that whole shit. And you still had people in the comments saying, wow, really nice of them to sweep for Nux and make believe it's not because he was fired. It's like, what? You're not going to believe me or Muda or Oompa. You're not going to believe anybody? It's actually crazy. It's actually insane.
It's literally just talking about the podcast and me just stepping away.
Yeah.
Like, it's not. It doesn't extend beyond that.
See, I thought that Charlie would step away from the official podcast for a while now, because it's something that they've been doing for a very long time, and Charlie doesn't like doing the same thing for a long time. I said a while ago I think he's going to quit the official podcast. I'm surprised he stopped Red Thread, because I got the impression he really loved that show. But again, it's whatever you want. It's whatever you want. I don't spend that much time online, comparatively speaking, to the amount of content I make. Like, I will make the content and then I'm offline the rest of the day. So this is wild. It's wild to see people spin shit like this.
I can't even wrap my tiny noodle around how anyone could perceive this as me being done with the internet entirely, but that's the story that they ran with, and that's what most people saw, not the actual post. So everyone thought I was quitting the internet, so I posted that video that I was really happy with because it just felt like an OG old school video that made me happy, and then bang! Just a flood of comments and dislikes all saying shit like, how could you fucking deceive us? I thought you quit, huh? What happened to leaving, huh?
Wow! They called him a liar! Because other people spun a narrative. Wow, this is like actually hitting me right in the gonads. This is the most relatable shit I've ever seen. Can't believe Nux is quitting the internet. This is so sad. Yo, speaking of me quitting the internet, there was a real banger comment on the Some Ordinary podcast. The latest episode of the podcast. There was like maybe one of the greatest comments I've ever seen on YouTube. Okay? So on here is our final episode of the Some Ordinary podcast. All right, there's still some people hating and saying, no, the real reason why Nux is leaving is because of other things. But these comments have been fucking fire. Glad to see they ended the podcast with all 3 hosts present alongside their most consistent guest, Oompaville. Can't believe they got special guest Oompaville on the last episode. Right? But here, wait, there's one really good one. Wait. Yo, this is the best comment on the planet. I've never seen a comment this good. So sad the podcast had to end after the terrible thing that Nux did. The fact that he was the actual shooter and just framed Thomas Crooks was an insane revelation. That's a banger. Honestly, dude, that's a banger. That's the best fucking one. That's a good comment.
I just read this post on Twitter from an account that had a profile pic of titties photoshopped onto Thomas Edison that said you were done, and it had 50,000 likes, so I know it was true, and you're just a fucking liar.
I agree.
I can't even just peacefully walk away from some projects without it being a massive fucking reaction over actual nothing burger information. And trust me, no one has a palate more refined for nothing burgers than me.
Yeah.
I have ranted about the stupidest shit of all time.
True.
But this was mind-boggling
True.
even for me.
Yeah.
So to set
I think that the internet really is reaching an unprecedented zenith. I think that compared to where we were just 1 year ago, it's wild to see the shit that's going on. I think it's because a lot of big people got exposed at the same time, and I think that really just gives ammunition to everyone to feel like they have the power now to destroy people. That's my hot take. I think that that's really kind of a publicly collected mindset by like a lot of the random Twitter, TikTok people. And they come for Charlie, they come for me. I'm sure they come for Charlie on a much higher level than for me even. Because, again, he's 10 times my size. Not in height, obviously.
the record straight, no, I'm not retiring, despite what the experts are telling you. All I did was walk away from a couple of projects. Like, that's really it. Like, that's a pretty normal thing to do, especially when one of them I've been doing for, like, 8 years. I really didn't think it was that deep, especially not deep enough for how big of a story it's become with...
Bro, I can't wait until I eventually retire from YouTube, because it's gonna happen. I'm just saying, at some point I will retire. My guess is within the next 5 years. I can't see myself doing this for more than 5 years. To be completely honest, I have a lot of other things that I'm working on and are slowly but surely taking more and more presence in my actual life. YouTube is slowly but surely dwindling as far as an importance when it comes to me. So within the next 5 years, I probably will be retired. And the irony is, I know whenever it does happen that I decide that I'm posting my final video to walk off in the sunset, aside from the people that are going to be cheering that I'm leaving, which obviously that'll happen, obviously. People hate me. But I think that there's also going to be a group of people that are going to attribute it to something. Wow, I can't believe that Nux is retiring because... And then they're going to make up some shit allegation that's just going to be peddled everywhere.
All of the wild narratives running around about the true reason that I stopped doing it. So let's get into that drama. I've talked about it on stream, I don't even know how many times at this point, but we'll just talk about all of it in this video here.
All right, let's go.
When covering the Ava...
To think that I just did a video like this about me and the whole Shadman shit. I just did a video like this like 3 days ago. I feel like I already need to do a new one because of all the new Twitter shit and cancellation garbage that's going on. The reason why I'm not doing it is because I feel like I'll just gonna be in an endless loop. I'll be in like a human centipede situation with my lips sewed to my own asshole, where I will never be able to stop just addressing things. The rest of my career will just be addressing shit instead of actually making fun content based on whatever the hell I want, which has been my content. So I don't think I'm going to just keep making videos addressing every cancellation thing.
Tyson situation.
What do you mean he doesn't know?
I was attacked by a lot of people for not being quick enough. Even though I covered it within like the first 6 hours, people were unsatisfied that I hadn't made a video within like the first fucking 20 minutes of it dropping.
Don't worry, Charlie. I got also hate for not covering it fast enough, even though I literally covered it one of the first. I got hate for not covering it and sweeping for Chris Tyson after my video came out. You see, at least after you posted the video, that led up. I got hate for it after my video came out.
And then when I did finally finish the full video covering all of it, it was another massive problem where now I only did it out of an obligation because people called me out, and then I also got accused of being a transphobe because I didn't use Ava Tyson's preferred pronouns, which were she, her. I didn't know that. I thought when I went to the Mr. Beast thing, someone referred to Ava Tyson with they. So I was truly under the impression that that was okay. And for that, I was annihilated by a good...
I saw that too. Poor guy. Imagine getting hate for not using the incorrect pronouns.
Chunk of Twitter. And then annihilated by another good chunk of Twitter because I called out Sneako, who was the main proponent about me covering for Mr. Beast to keep the collab alive. I wasn't talking about Ava Tyson because I wanted the Mr. Beast collab.
That is so bullshit. What the fuck? How bullshit do you need to be to think that that's true? He covers everything! He covers everything!
And I talked about how absurd that statement was, especially given his history with fighting against the age of consent. He's been very vocal about how much he hates the age of consent, And so I talked about that briefly at the end
We're living in clown world!
of the video, which then changed the whole narrative for a lot of people, where I never talked about Ava Tyson and only talked about Sneako. So it was a complete lose-lose, because if I didn't talk about what Sneako was saying, I would have been called a coward for not addressing it and talking about, like,
True.
well, he was going to cover for Mr. Beast.
True. There's this other precedent that goes on online that if you ever don't cover something, you must be a coward, you must be in drama, you must not want to address it, and it's not true. More often than not, when you address something, it just makes it worse. So, like, there's this weird idea that you need to address everything of all time. You need to address everything that ever happens, and any guy that says anything about you must be addressed. I don't think that's true. Obviously, what the fuck? No human being can do that shit.
Until Sneako called him out. So, like, if I didn't do it, I would have been attacked. I did do it, still got attacked. It really was unwinnable. But from that...
At Charlie's size, it's unwinnable. See, but the crazy thing is, I think that at this point, where YouTube is going, if you have past 1 million subs on YouTube, you are in an unwinnable position. You have reached a status that Twitter now completely validates the idea that they could shit on you for anything. And you're just kind of cooked. I mean, you're not really cooked if you don't let it bother you. I don't let it bother me. Again, I take pride in getting canceled for stupid shit, like the Jaden Animations titles or whatever. Like that, yeah, you can cancel me for that. That's nice. I don't mind. That's cool.
Spawned a conversation where I talked to Sneako directly, because he was very upset that I was talking about how him rallying against the age of consent is pedophile arguments, like defending pedophilia. As I've said, since the very beginning of this channel, I'm always willing to engage with people I disagree with, and I thought that maybe there was a chance I misunderstood what he was trying to say.
That's a Charlie L. Yeah, that's a Charlie L. I hate to say it. Yeah, you didn't misunderstand Sneako. Sneako just thinks 12-year-olds can marry adults, okay? Sneako just thinks that 12-year-olds can marry 60-year-olds. All right, you did not misunderstand him. That is what he said, and it's what he meant. It's like a lot of people have this mentality that you shouldn't believe the thing that they say. No! If they say something, you should believe them. If Sneako says a 12-year-old should marry an adult, maybe that's what he thinks.
Even though it's still abhorrent, I thought, okay, maybe he's not actually trying to defend pedophilia. He's like some kind of pseudo-intellectual debate bro who's trying to say something else. So I was willing to hear him out on it, and I talked to him in DMs, and he said he doesn't believe in the age of consent. He believes in the age of marriage.
Whatever the fuck that means.
Can't assign a number to it, but said that...
Oh, Sneako DM leak. Maybe I should leak more DMs. That would be more fun. Why can't you say what you think the age of consent should be? People should legally drive and marry at the same age. Okay, is that driver's permit age 15 or license age 16? As Muslims, we believe it is our duty to follow the law of the land. Wait, what? The law of the land is that there's an age of consent at 18. You just fucking put your foot in your mouth. Wait, is no one calling Sneako out for this? The law of the land is that there's a fucking age of 18 is the age of consent. Wait a second. Is it just me or did he... Law of the land is that 18 is the age of consent, so he agrees 18. He's such a fucking goober. He's like an actual fucking dingus dongus. He just says shit. He has no idea what he's talking about. It wasn't a spiritual question. I have no issue with any faith at all. It's a personal belief question that your response didn't answer. Bro! As Muslims, we believe it's our duty to follow the law of the land. So then 18 is the age! He is such a fucking idiot. He's such a fucking moron.
When someone can legally drive, they should be able to marry at the same time. Which is literally like a 15 or 16-year-old, because you get your permit at 15, your license at 16, and both are way too young to be marrying. That shit is completely unacceptable. It is downright disgusting. He then said that he was happy to discuss it in a call, which I said I was willing to hear him out on, and he said that he would do it later because he was outside doing an IRL stream in Turkey.
Nice.
So I was willing to hear him out because, again, if this is some kind of crazy misunderstanding, I'd like to know that, because it'd be really fucking scary for someone in his position with his level of influence to be actually advocating for adults marrying and fucking children.
Charlie, he is actually advocating for that. He doesn't just say it once or twice. He says it every time he's asked. Why wouldn't you think he means the thing that he's preaching? That is what he's saying, and that is what his audience wants to hear. Oh, I feel like Charlie's too nice. He's like such a nice guy. He's like, no, there's no way he actually thinks that though, right? God, Charles, man! I mean, obviously we're talking in retrospect here, but yeah, that's rough.
That's a huge problem. That's a big fucking problem. So if there was something that he was like trying to say but failing to do so, I was willing to at least hear it. And this is where the infamous debate came from. The debate that people are calling the debate of the century. I'm kidding, not a single soul.
No one's called it. It's the worst debate I've ever heard. It's the worst debate of all time.
On the planet said that it's actually one of the most dogshit debates I think human beings have ever had. He eventually called me on Discord. I was under the impression this was just him and I talking. I had no idea this was going to be a debate. I thought he was going to try and explain himself like, hey, no, this isn't actually what I meant. This is what I'm trying to say.
He treats Sneako in such good faith. Sneako has called for the extermination of Jews, okay? He's... or at least by osmosis, or by reference, he's done that with his collabs and people he supports and ideas that they spout, okay? He's a monster, okay? He is a fucking psychopath. He's an idiot. Why on earth would you give him the benefit of this doubt? Oh, but it's like, the thing is, that's for the collage. But the thing is, Charlie's such a nice guy. It's like so good of him. Like, in a good world, like in a positive and wholesome world, this would be something looked at with valor, okay? That Charlie is willing to talk to someone like this. But on internet land, it's a sin. God damn it.
I thought this was a conversation between him and I, not this kind of debate show that he was putting on for his audience. There is nothing in our DMs that indicated that's where it was going.
Wait. All right, no worry. Laters works for me. Ready now. Now works best for me. I'm out at lunch. I'll be home in 2 hours if that's available. Okay. I'll get food first. What's your Discord?
Join the call.
My last one got banned? Sneako got banned on Discord? That's news. Dude, is he really gonna say that he's banned on Discord for some Matrix shit? After arguing this age of consent shit, I bet he was banned on Discord for some inappropriate conversations. Axel Madness, thanks for the sub.
He asked if I was going to record it, to which I said, I can if he wants me to.
Give me a couple of minutes, I'm ready. Driving back, give me 10, all good, loading up, sounds good. 1 sec, audio problems on laptop, no problem. iPad bro, hold on.
But I was also down to just talk. So I thought maybe he wanted it as a recording to like explain to people like, no, he's not actually a pedophile defender or advocating for that kind of thing. So I thought that is why he asked. I didn't know it was because it was being streamed. Especially because one of his last...
He didn't know this debate was gonna be streamed? Sneako fucking pulled this fast shit on him too? Charlie is doing you the honor of debating you or discussing with you out of the goodness of his heart. Charlie had nothing to gain from discussing with Sneako. Nothing to gain. And Sneako just pulled a Sneako on him. Holy shit. It's like, it's crazy. Man's insane. It's wild.
Last DMs was about how he's doing an outside IRL stream and he would call me after. To me that says when he's done streaming, that's when we'll talk, not as a part of his stream.
Holy shit.
I didn't know this was a debate nor a stream until about an hour and 40 into it, roughly somewhere.
That's fucking awful. That's awful. Ugh. Yeah, no, because here's the thing. When Charlie said I thought it would be a conversation, not a debate, I was like, really, bro? Really? You think you're going to be making content with Sneako and it'll be a conversation, not a debate? But if he didn't know it was to be content, he didn't even know it was content. That changes the perspective completely.
We're in that ballpark. I am not a debater. I've never claimed to be one.
Yeah.
I never...
We saw, bro. You didn't do it very... I love Charlie, but he fucking really put a foot in his mouth there.
Want to be a debater. I've always said that I believe conversations are the most productive because...
Oh, debates aren't productive. What do you mean? Debates... Okay. 90% of debates are not productive. Now, there are the 10% of debates that are actually probably honorable, trying to change people's minds, but 90% of debates are not for that at all.
Because debates always devolve into what side can score the most points by
True.
explaining their thought process, even if the position is wrong. Whereas a conversation is a very different thing to me. So I didn't even know that's what this was. So obviously, I was unprepared for a fucking debate. So I entered into the Thunderdome and we started talking. I made it clear that I found his statements on the age of consent and children marrying adults being fucking hideous. Absolutely revolting.
Yeah.
And then he started arguing about, well, what is a child? We must define a child, you know. It's not actually being under 18. It's all a bunch of hooey. And I really think if you have to start arguing about, well, what technically is a child, you're already way too far gone. Like, that is so fucking weird. And in no uncertain terms, multiple times throughout the debate, Sneako says that he is okay with people that are aged 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 marrying adults that are 18 or older.
We're talking globally. Let's just talk globally. Like, do you think it is okay for, and I'm not talking about just you specifically anymore, anyone, do you think it's okay for anyone in their 20s, an adult, to marry a 15 or 16-year-old?
A 21-year-old, if there was a marriage where the father consented and the daughter consented, and it was both good on both families and they wanted to do it, why am I going to get involved?
Every time I hear this logic, it just actually upsets me so much. Like, how could someone be this dumb? This is like a potato with a mustache talking right now. If a father and a child both consented to cut the child's arm off, why should we get involved? They both consented.
Why should we get the government involved?
Even get back a little bit. Do you think there's not a problem with a child being with an adult?
Okay. We haven't even agreed upon what a child and an adult is. You keep saying...
Because he doesn't give an age.
You keep saying that it's 18.
Under 18
That's
is child.
And I'm
over 18
telling
is
you,
adult.
that's not even the definition of the word.
What is the number?
I just
It
told-
needs to be a number, or else you can do the same thing.
I just told you there's not a number.
But do you see why that's a problem?
No.
If there's no defined... So why can't a 12-year-old marry an 18-year-old?
Because most 12-year-olds haven't gone through puberty yet. And most 12-year-olds...
What if, as you just said, it changes? What if a 12-year-old went through puberty early, the parents consent, the 18-year-old and the parents consent? Can they do it?
Most likely that's not going to happen. You know why? Because Islamically, if
We're not
there's-
talking most likely. Just say it.
if the
Why?
families have consented, the kid is mature, the kid is ready, why should I
At
stop it?
12 years old. At 12.
Why does he do the why should I stop them argument? What the hell argument? Fucking guy. Anyway, whatever. I already reacted to this debate, so you can fucking go there. I'm not reliving this.
12 years old.
If the kid is physically mature, the parents consent, both parties are
A
happy.
12-year-old being physically mature.
If that's the only line that actually makes sense.
Oh, that line makes sense. If you have a physically mature 12-year-old, ladies and gentlemen, the game has changed. If you are 60 years old and you want a 12-year-old mature child bride, go to Sneako.
And I don't think a 14-year-old can ever be physically mature.
Even though they literally can.
It's fucking crazy. Oh.
Even though puberty actually defines that, it's fine.
I don't believe so. I was 14 once. But I actually had a mustache when I was 14. Would you have looked at me and said I was physically mature enough to get married?
If you were physically mature, if you
Sneako's just a second away from saying, Charlie, if you were 14 years old and had a mustache, I would let you have sex with my girlfriend. The fuck? What do I even want? This is crazy. Oh my god.
were mature, yes, I would. Okay.
Really? When I was 14.
Yeah. If you were 14 and you were ready to go and you met another 14-year-old, yes, I would.
No. We're talking adults.
He keeps changing the conversation.
You keep going back to that.
That is adult.
I met.
I told you my definition.
I
told you the definition.
You gotta go harder. Gotta go harder on this man. Be like, all right, 12-year-old that's in your mind mature, marrying a 60-year-old. Give it to him hard. Why are you softballing?
Definition. Okay. If you went through puberty, you're an adult. That's the definition of adult. So yes, if you're an adult and you had a mustache, you're ready to get married, fine. Okay?
Unironically saying a 14-year-old adult, I think would make most sensible people want to puke. There's so many instances of...
Yeah, you don't need to... Yeah, I saw that debate. We covered this last time. I told you we had an edit issue at the end. Fuck. I hate myself for it, but that's that. But goddamn, this is crazy. It's crazy that Sneako walked away from this and as the perceived victor. I think that Charlie definitely took a massive L. I don't want to undersell the L that Charlie took at the end of that debate. Children can't consent, period. So to avoid that whole discussion, how do people look at this and be like, oh, wow, Sneako fucking rocked the house over there?
This, and a lot of the conversation was spent with him talking about like overseas age of consent, like talking about how Japan's age of consent was 13 for the longest time, this and that. But the whole thing was like pulling teeth, and it was fucking painful. And I think it's extremely alarming perspective to have. Unironically calling a 14-year-old and 12-year-old mature enough for a marriage, those are middle schoolers. Like, holy shit. I think that is extremely concerning to be.
I love how Charlie makes this video to defend himself from getting canceled and simultaneously fucking destroys Sneako again. It's so funny. This is pure, like, look at Twitter right now, okay? Bro, look at trending Sneako, right? Like, bro, that's because of this video. Oh my god.
Advocating for something like that. Like, would Sneako be okay if his best friend ended up marrying a 14-year-old? He certainly shouldn't be. No one should be okay with something like that. Like, that's fucking terrible. That is actually terrible. But now, since I wasn't, like, holding him to this topic or making sure it stayed on the topic I thought we were talking about, it went all over the place with a ton of different things. But the big one, and this is what most people have focused on, which was my response to his question about kids transitioning. And the way he would pose that question would be by asking if I thought it was okay if kids who want to switch their gender go to the doctor and get their dick cut off. Is it okay if a 9-year-old goes to a doctor and gets their cock cut off right then and there? And when posed with that question, I replied with yes. And I've talked about this on stream many, many times now, and I'll talk about it again here. I thought he was talking in hyperbole. I thought he was just exaggerating, being over the top, talking about the entire subject of transitioning. I had no idea that any living, breathing human being actually thought that that's how transitioning works. Where you just go into a doctor saying, I feel like switching genders, and they lay you down on the operating table and just snip your whole fucking meat off. I didn't know that that's what he actually believed. I didn't know he was speaking literally. I thought he was just referring to the entire process of transitioning and just using this over-the-top statement to encapsulate all of it. Because you literally cannot get that surgery.
When you say Charlie's not hard enough on Sneako, this is what you meant. I have been saying for over a year now, ever since the first "these are clips, not mags" drama. Well, ever since that moment, a year ago, I have been saying Charlie is not going hard enough on Sneako. He keeps looking for some reason at Sneako in a positive light. He keeps trying to see the good in him. If there is good in him, it's buried, okay? You have to stop being so nice on him, to assume that the crazy things he says are hyperbole. I've been saying this for literally years. Well, for literally a year. This isn't just pre-watch, this is... So frustrating, god damn it.
Surgery unless you are 18. Like, you actually have to go out of your way to be that stupid on the topic than you would just spending a couple of seconds looking it up. There are very rare cases where someone under 18 has had that surgery performed. That's not common. So I really didn't think that someone could be so dumb on the topic.
One thing I have to say, do not have sex with Sneako. I'll explain why. Because you have to be mature to be an adult, and Sneako is not mature. Technically a child by Sneako logic.
Thought he was just speaking in hyperbole, which is my mistake. I should have been more clear instead of making an assumption that he was talking about something nuanced.
Yeah, you should have been a lot more clear.
In an over-the-top way. I haven't hid this take, and it's not a new take from me. I've talked about this a couple times throughout the years on stream. I have no complaints if a kid gets interested in transitioning and starts talking to their family about it. So their parents start talking to doctors, the kid starts talking to doctors and therapists and all of this, because the process of transitioning is one that takes place over the course of many years. It's not something that just happens like that. And I'm also not afraid to admit that I am not the most educated when it comes to transitioning. I am not someone that has a ton of knowledge about the subject to be speaking on it in a really in-depth manner. But even I know these very surface level things that everyone has easy access to understand. It is a long process. And I have no problems at all if a kid gets interested in that process and starts going through that process with proper care. And then when they reach the age where they can consider that surgery and decide they want to do it, then that's all power to them. That's
so we're resubstantiating the take. The take is that Charlie says that before the kid is an adult, the kid could start doing, therapy type things and going to doctors and discussing it and approaching it, but not actually going through with a full surgery. I hope that Charlie fucking takes Sneako seriously from this point going forward. And I don't mean take him seriously like he's important or intellectual. He's not. But taking him seriously to the point that when he says heinous shit, believe that he means it.
Entirely up to them. They have reached that age. They can now do that surgery if they want to. That is not a surgery that's being offered to like a 9-year-old who just says, I feel like changing genders today. It's just not how it works. And I didn't think that that's what was actually being discussed because it's so fucking silly. Now, I'm sure there's some really fringe cases you can point to where that kind of thing did happen, but it's not common. Thus, I didn't think that's what was being referred to in the conversation. And it is, again, my mistake for not recognizing that at that moment, it was being spoken about literally. So all that shit that people keep dogpiling and spouting about me about how I want all kids to go out there and get their genitals chopped off is just fucked up. Like, it's so ridiculous. Recognize I did a horrible job of arguing in this debate, which isn't surprising considering I don't debate. This is not something that's in my skill set, which of course led to some embarrassingly dog shit arguments. Like the one I've seen people reference a couple times is when I briefly mentioned sports in this topic. It was a stupid point to try and make. I was getting hit by
No, wait, I only saw the recap. What sports?
Rebound psychic damage listening to some of the drivel brain rot that Sneako was spouting about the age of consent. And I don't know why I thought this was like an argument to try and make, but I brought up sports in this subject and I was going to try and elaborate on it, but didn't at all. What I was going to try and say is that when a kid gets interested in a sport, they'll talk to their parents about it. They'll research the sport, go through the process of learning about it.
Was you trying to compare that with transgender surgery? Picking the sport you want to play? No.
And when it comes to transitioning, it's still a process where you talk to your family about it and learn about it. Like, it wasn't a point where I was trying to say...
Maybe not the best analogy I've ever heard, but okay. Oh, that's rough, buddy.
Well, changing genders is a lot like picking between baseball and soccer. Like, it's not what I was trying to get at, but because I didn't elaborate on it and it really wasn't a good argument to try and make in the first place, that's one people have harped on a lot. And I get it. Like I said, I am not a debater. Like, I didn't go in here expecting a debate. So I had nothing prepared here for this inundation of outrageous questions and tangents. Like, there was a point where Sneako was trying to get me to say white power. Like, the whole thing was
And you're still gonna look at him in a good light? He's gonna try to get you to say that, and you're still gonna be like, oh, he doesn't really mean it. He's just a little bull baby. He doesn't really mean that.
Fucking mess. It was, without a doubt, probably the worst debate that video has ever been cursed with. And I really regret not doing a better job here. It's not something I should have even done in the first place. I just have a tendency to really hope for the best out of people, and I was really hoping that I and most...
Yeah, all right. That's the big L. That is the big L. I think the big L is Charlie being too naive to recognize that Sneako actually means the shit that he says, and he's just a fucking monster in many ways. And he's not... He didn't recognize it. God, I've been saying this for so long. For so long, I have been saying that Sneako's just... He's not hard enough on Sneako. I literally said that ever since he dropped his original conversation with Sneako over a year ago.
People were wrong about Sneako's perspective on the age of consent. However, unfortunately, it doesn't appear to be the case. He was very adamant about this position, and I did a terrible job in arguing with him, and I did a terrible job of articulating my beliefs. I am supportive of the LGBTQ+, and I have been, and that's not something I've been shy about. I just wish I did a better job of expressing that. To be open and honest here, and I've talked about this a lot, I've always treated my channel kind of like a diary for myself, which is why I just talk about so much different nonsense and so many things that I know a lot of people don't give a fuck about, but some of it's fun for me to talk about, or some...
I think that's why Charlie feels so genuine, you know? Charlie feels like such a genuine YouTuber because ultimately his channel is really just whatever the fuck he wants to do. Playing clicker games, talking about pedophiles and and fucking tasting burgers. Like, he does whatever he wants, and I think that's why people like him so much. He doesn't go the super homogenized Mr. Beast approach where every video is algorithmically optimized. He just goes ahead and does what the fuck he wants. People taking him to be some sort of moral arbiter, I think, really adds so much stress to his plate, for sure.
Some of it's just things I care about. So being totally honest, I used to treat the internet as an escape from my dog shit real life. Truly unhappy, really hated most of everything about myself, and the internet was my escape from it. But now it's really become that real life is the escapism for me now. Like,
Damn, I feel him so hard, bro. I feel that, dude. Holy shit. Yeah, the internet started as escapism, and now real life is the escapism from the internet. I feel like I'm at that point too. It's just the entire landscape of the internet changed so much, so quickly. And I totally get where he's coming from.
Like, I love posting and creating things, but I don't like interacting with the internet around me anymore. And it's something that I started to realize.
It's crazy to think about that, you know? I love streaming and making content based off my streams. As you could tell, I have stepped back a lot when it comes to collabs and things. Not because I didn't like collabs, but just because, you know, I would have put a lot of effort in collabs. I don't want my drama to bleed into other people's lives. Like, for example, the Shadman clip where people kept saying that I'm friends with Shadman because of this one clip where I told Quite that Shadman DM'd me one time. Quite got hate for that. You know? Like, I never want to be a source of hate for anyone around me. I don't care if they come for me with shit. But when they start coming for people that aren't part of any sort of conversation, but just happens to be related or friendly with me, is insane. Holy crap, bro.
Realized a couple months ago.
Haters are evolving at a rapid rate.
And I've talked about it on stream a little bit, how because I've covered so many like drama stories and everything, it's pretty much all that I ever get told about when I'm streaming, and it's become such a massive headache, and it's just constant negativity that I'm fully flooded with, like, at all hours. Like,
100%. I get the same shit. So when I started streaming, my career was mostly anime based, okay? So I would start stream, and people in my chat would be asking me about anime. All right, that was the vast majority of my chat. It's like, oh, did you see the new chapter of One Piece? Did you read the new chapter of My Hero Academia? Did you see the new episode of Naruto Shippuden? All right, that was originally what my chat looked like. My chat's different now. Okay, now my chat is, I saw you got canceled on Twitter. I saw you got canceled for this. I saw you got canceled for that. Did you hear the news about how your friend got canceled for this? What about the criticism that your other friend was getting? Remember that? It's crazy. It's crazy. It's not even just asking me about drama. It's asking me about drama that is directly impacting either me or my friends. It is wild. And I get that. And I don't read, I mean, I do read a lot of the messages in chat. Obviously, I don't read every single message, but I'm obviously not going to address every single message that I get. God, you get some people like talking about, oh, did you see this friend of yours take on this situation that I thought was bad? Like, what do you want me to say? Oh, yes, my friend there had a bad take there, and this friend over there got canceled for this, and this guy, like, what do you want from me?
I am in like this human centipede of eating someone's ass while having my ass eaten with even more things that I'm being demanded to like.
I just used a human centipede fucking reference in this reaction. That's rough, buddy.
Talk about, where everything just feels like a lose-lose, and it has been for like the last 6 or 8 months, I feel, where if I talk about something, it's a problem. Even if something is cut and dry, as like Cody Ko having sex with a 17-year-old being bad, I caught a lot of shit for that too. I'm sure a lot of people probably didn't see that, but man, the amount of emails I got and a lot of the things I was seeing, even something as cut and dry as that was an issue when I talked about it.
Nani?
And then if I don't talk about something, or if I don't talk about something fast enough,
I get that too. Fuck, that's crazy. And Charlie is the biggest commentary channel on the platform, right? By and large, bar none, no one compares to him, okay? There is no one even in the same league as him. He probably gets like 200 million views a month. Let's just see. Bruh. Like, by and large, bar none, not comparable. He got 184 million views this month. In 1 month, 184 million views. For reference, I got like 6.5 million. Like, this is unfathomable. And he just turns on his camera and talks. He's just some guy that just yaps. Fuck, bro.
Enough in the time that some people think is appropriate, I'm then accused of covering up for something for an ulterior evil motive. So it just really feels like a rock and a hard place where, regardless...
Yeah, if you say something, then your response is going to be picked apart by everyone and attacked, and more questions are going to be asked, and wait for that response. And if you don't answer, or if you don't respond, or if you don't even, react to shit, or if you don't respond to responses to yourself, well, then you're obviously hiding stuff.
It's just going to be a massive flood of negativity. And a huge critique of me that I've always seen is Charlie's a fence sitter. He's just a fucking fence-sitting enlightened centrist cuck, this and that. And I've always said for the entire time I've been on the internet, I'm not special. I'm literally just a normal guy who got very lucky. I just sit here...
Didn't I tell you in my last reaction to the Charlie stuff that he says that he only is successful because he's lucky? He's wrong. He's successful because he's funny as fuck and he's a good guy. Okay, that's why he's so popular. He's funny. He's a good man, and people like him. I like him. So that said, God, people just look at this shit and they hate him for being a fence sitter. God, that's such a wild thing to cancel someone for.
Joke about shit, talk about my opinion on things, and nothing else. I don't have a unique perspective on things. I don't have deep insight into the vicissitudes of certain things. I am literally just a guy who yaps, has some fun, talks about shit, does some wacky stuff as well, and that's it. It's just not that deep. But because everything is so inflammatory and charged online, it's being perceived in the last 2 years, it's really popped off, as me making deliberate attempts to appease both sides and play right down the middle to soak up as much as possible. Like, it's all this, like, nefarious scheme where I'm doing this with my hands. And
he's not even good at doing that with his hands. God!
I just don't understand how it's become so... incendiary, where that's apparently like a really bad thing now.
It is a really bad thing now. It's honestly, anything is a bad thing now. You see, if you were right-leaning, then they would call you an alt-right Nazi. You see, if you were left-leaning, then they would call you a woke libtard. And if you are a centrist, then you are a fence-sitting phony. There is no winning. Also, this is getting added to the collage. I'm just saying.
My opinion is not special, and my opinion isn't one that's pandering to any sides or catering to anything. It's literally just whatever's up here. I sit down for like 30 to 45 minutes on like a topic or like a video that I'm joking around about, and I talk about it. I am legitimately just an average, well, below average height guy who's about to turn 30. I'm not just spitting hot takes out the wazoo here. I'm just... being myself. That's all this channel ever has been. And now it's become super controversial to do that. If it's not...
I don't think there's anything inherently controversial about fence sitting. I think that people hate the fact that you are so successful while fence sitting. That's what people hate. Because almost everyone needs to grift to one side or another to be successful. There are not a lot of successful fence sitters. So seeing you as someone successful tortures people. People are jealous that you could turn on a camera for 20 minutes, yap, and just upload it and get 5 million views. This is a video of you yapping about yourself. And it got 5 million views in 12 hours. That's what people hate you for, because they're jealous about it. They need to blame it on fence sitting. God.
Like, picking sides on everything, it seems, and it's very frustrating. For the longest time, it was just me having fun, and for the most part it still is, but I've started to recognize over the last few months that some of the things I do
I have yet to even see a comfortable fence. Why would I sit on one? Thank you, chat. That was wise.
just really aren't
At least no one calls me a fence sitter. God, sometimes I wish I was just a fence sitter. Oh, God.
fun for me to do, and I've been doing them out of obligation. Mainly internet drama.
Especially probably like the pedophile shit. It's gotten really crazy. The fact that there's a new pedophile of the week every week is mind-numbingly tragic. Tragic! It is not fun.
When I initially started covering drama so many years ago now, it was fun, because it wasn't as serious. Like, the stories were a lot, more quirky. It was
Old drama used to be cool. Drama used to be fun. Jake Paul making a fool of himself in 2016. Like, remember when we all hated on Jake Paul for just disrupting the public? And now every fucking YouTuber is a pedophile? Like, what is even going on?
It was easy to get invested because it was kind of just like a soap opera, like a really dumb soap opera. But recently it's been much more serious, and I feel the need to talk about these things because a lot of them are extremely serious with very important topics to discuss. But it has become draining. As much as I never wanted to admit it, I've started to recognize that my mood is immediately impacted by whatever I read on Twitter in the morning.
That's why you don't go on Twitter. Problem solved. Just don't go on Twitter.
If that's some horrible stuff about a creator or what have you, it immediately affects my entire day and my whole outlook on the day.
Did you see Dr. Disrespect came back? I saw this shit. I went to Twitter to show you a tweet about me getting canceled for the stream, and I accidentally happened upon the Dr. Disrespect tweet. Look at this. So Dr. Disrespect gets exposed for inappropriately messaging minors. Dr. Kid Inspect. He posts this, I'm playing chess while you're playing checkers. 95,000 likes. With the fucking banger responses. Is this you playing with a minor? Good one, she, her. The internet will never fix your real threat. Depression. This one's better. I heard you a pedophile, N-word. I heard you like little boys and girls, N-word. Little brainwashed woke boy putting out Dragon Ball Z GFX with Kendrick Lamar lines. Got me big time. It's like, no, dude, what is going on? Oh.
Now I know, call the wambulance, get some french fries, just fucking whining about having to talk about drama.
Yeah, because the thing is, even when you complain about it, it's like, oh, I hate making videos about pedophiles. You'd be like, oh, you hate making videos about pedophiles? Well, you get 10 million views on your videos. I can't even afford healthcare.
What a stupid problem to be upset about. But I'm just trying to explain that it hasn't been as fun recently. It hasn't. Yeah. And the main thing, if you've been around the channel for a while, is I've always...
Dude, honestly, unironically, and I'm not even joking about this when I say it, the best and most light-hearted drama of the last while is Boogie scamming his audience and lying about having cancer. That is the most light-hearted drama of 2024.
Always wanted this to be fun and never feel like a job. And as hard as it is for me to admit this, a lot of this kind of stuff, it has just started to feel like less fun and more of, well, gotta do this because I'm expected to.
True.
Like anytime I go live, most of chat is just telling me about the latest in
That's what I'm saying.
Whatever's happening in the creator space or some other like extremely negative thing going on. And it's like, okay, well, I'm going to have to learn all about that once I turn stream off. So then I spend a few hours learning about these things, and it's all just really upsetting stuff. Like, it's not happy. It's all very sad, bad stuff. And it's been making me not happy. So,
oh, dude, right in the heart. It hurts me to even hear that, bro. Even hurts me to hear that, dude. Oh, dude, I love Charlie. He's such a wholesome man. He's been nothing but good to me also. From personal experiences, aside from just being a fan. He's just such a good guy.
I definitely think I'll be slowing down on covering internet-related drama or, like, drama in general.
He's gonna stop covering, or slow down covering drama? Dude, can't wait for people to cancel him. Wow, can't believe Charlie decided to slow down on drama right before Mr. Beast got canceled. Looks like he's protecting Mr. Beast.
I'll still talk about like really wacky stories and shit like that, but I definitely think I'm gonna be pumping the brakes on like the kind of drama I have been covering recently. And instead, I'm gonna go back to focusing on the content that I'm most happy with. Like, if you ask me what content I'm most proud of throughout my entire time on this platform for the last
Giant dildos.
like 17, 18 years, none of
17, 18 years on the platform. Holy shit, this man is a pro! A pro! I couldn't even title this video MoistCr1TiKal and I spent 10 years on YouTube.
of it would be drama coverage. It'd be things like Skynut. It'd be things like shooting a potato at a tennis racket to see if you can make french fries in midair by frying them in hot oil. It's shit like that. And I think I'm going to go back to that kind of stuff as opposed to the direction that I have been going recently. So, yeah, this was a lot to go over here.
That's crazy. I hope he's happy with what he does, honestly. I'm going to miss his drama coverage because, again, I like his drama shit, but I totally respect the idea of stepping back from it. Oh, my God.
But
like, also, you have to realize Charlie won the game, okay? Charlie won the game. He won YouTube. He has officially beaten YouTube, okay? Easy. Easy beaten YouTube.
I hope this has cleared everything up. And, yeah, that's really about it. So, yeah.
Yeah, well, I think, all in all, this was a pretty good video. This was a pretty good video, pretty good addressing the whole thing. And honestly, it's because he was honest. I think that for me, my bar for addressing people's controversies are if you could tell that they are lying. If you could tell they're lying, then no matter what the fuck they say in their video, I hate it. I hate it. Like, I don't want to give examples here because people are going to dislike me for it. But Dream, big response to all that shit. He lied like 5-10 times in that response. Even though he definitely did disprove the ultimate allegations against him. And I think he's in the clear for that. I hated the video just simply because he lied about a lot of stuff. So for my bar is, if I think you're telling the truth, I'm going to like your response. And I really think Charlie was honest here. So I really like his response. And, fuck, dude. Please just don't fucking let Sneako win, bro. Keep cooking him. Don't be easy on him. And if someone tells you they're a pedophile, they just might be a pedophile. Thanks for watching. This has been a lot of drama. Stay weird, fam. If you made it to the end, click one of these two videos, which also will definitely get me canceled. See you live on King. Stay weird, fam.